Hey you guys, welcome to Black People Watch. Thank you so much for watching my channel. This is your girl Big Ish, and this week we're reviewing the Eddie Murphy movie Coming to America that just started streaming on Amazon Prime. Let's get into it. Coming to America 2 stars Eddie Murphy as Prince Akeem, Saul and Clarence, Arsenio Hall as Morris, Simi, and Reverend Brown, Sherry Headley as Lisa, Jermaine Flower as Lavelle Johnson, Leslie Jones as Mary Johnson, Tracy Morgan as Uncle Reem, Kiki Lane as Mika, and Wesley Snipes as General Izzy. Okay, so let's get into the plot of the movie. The African monarch Akeem learns he has a long-lost son in the United States and must return to America to meet his unexpected heir and build a relationship with his son. So you guys, if you haven't seen Coming to America 2, I want you to go back and watch it. This is going to be some spoilers in here. However, I don't go over every aspect of the movie. I want you to watch it, and this is more of a conversation that I had with you guys. So if you watched it, let's get on into it because we have no time to waste. So I have on my Falani earrings and my head wrapped a little differently this time in honor of Coming to America 2 and also in honor of our heritage, which is beautifully displayed in this movie. So, you know, there are some pros and cons to this movie. To start out, let me just say that, you know, Eddie Murphy is one of the top paying actors in Hollywood, black, white, or otherwise. So, you know, I just, you know, tip my hat to him for everything that he's accomplished in his career and the way that he's paved for many other actors after him. So I just want to give him thanks for that. He is an icon and a living legend, okay? Eddie Murphy makes that money, okay? And we love him. However, with that being said, I was terribly disappointed in this movie, you guys. I waited so long for this movie. I actually follow the Coming to America webpage on Instagram. Sirens. That's gonna be wild. They always do this when I'm recording. Okay, so I'm back. I have been waiting for this movie since forever. I remember when it was in the works and that Eddie Murphy was talking about doing a sequel to Coming to America, and I was so excited for it. I actually follow the Coming to America IG page. This young brother developed it, and he watches Eddie Murphy very closely, and he was following all of the developments with the movie, so I was excited about it. I was so happy when I found out that he sold Coming to America for $125 million, and that's just on the front end. That has nothing to do with the back end money that he's going to receive for the residuals and everything else. He sold it to Amazon for $125 million. Not everything on Amazon is free. Sometimes you do have to pay and rent movies, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be free or not. So it was good to go to Amazon and find out I didn't have to pay for it. Now that's number one, because I would have been really mad, honey, if I had to pay. The movie is written by Eddie Murphy and Barry Ballstein. Another siren. Okay, so let me just say that I was just so happy with Eddie Murphy bringing all these iconic comedians on the movie and like actually giving people a chance to shine. I thought that that was fantastic. You know, he is a champion for the underdog. Eddie Murphy has no problem bringing in young, fresh faces. He doesn't feel threatened by young, talented comedians, and I love that about him. He's very confident in who he is as an entertainer and an artist. It was great to see Arsenio Hall. I haven't seen him in a while. I personally think Arsenio Hall is funny. When his show went off the air, I was very disappointed because he makes me laugh. He makes me laugh like crazy, and he introduced another character who was like some kind of shaman in the movie, and I thought that character was really funny. Jermaine Flower as Lavelle was an interesting casting pick for me. I don't think he looked like either Leslie Jones or Eddie Murphy. I don't think he lived up to the role of the son of Akeem. He just seemed very out of place for me. I don't understand that casting pick. Again, with the wigs, he had on this terrible wig in the beginning, and even when, you know, his girlfriend did his hair, it still was like swooped over to the front. It was terrible. I don't understand what was going on with the hair. She did not work any kind of magic after. His hair was actually better before than when she touched it. So I don't know what happened there with their casting with him, but for me it wasn't a good pick. Leslie Jones as Mary Johnson was hilarious. Leslie Jones is just very funny to me. I think she played her part, pretty good. It wasn't like a whole lot of depth to the character. She played her part and she acted very well. Tracy Morgan as Uncle Reem, of course, is a spot on pick. I think Tracy Morgan brings his own personality to his characters, so it didn't seem like it was much depth there, but it seemed like Uncle Reem is pretty much how Tracy Morgan acts in real life, so it was a spot on cast for me there. The breakout star for me in this movie was Wesley Snipes. I thought he was hilarious. I really enjoyed his character. I thought he brought a lot of life to the movie, and I would have liked to see more of him on screen. I think an opportunity was wasted by not bringing Wesley Snipes into more of the scenes in the movie. I think that he would have added a lot more to the life and the flow of the movie. Again, with that being said, there was a plethora of characters that were brought back from the original movie outside of Lisa's best friend, who I don't know why they didn't bring her back because she is still living. But other than that, they brought everybody else back, almost the entire cast. It was good to see that everybody was alive, and they added some new faces to the bunch. So that was good. Okay, so let's get to the disappointments of the movie. It was extremely disappointing. The storyline, Eddie Murphy wrote the script, and it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good, you guys. It was not funny. I had moments where I chuckled. I enjoyed the visuals of the movie. I thought the African garments, the dances, the performances, and the barbershop scene was really great. However, I thought the storyline was not good. Here's where I think they went wrong. It was too many storylines in one movie. The storyline was Eddie Murphy finds out he has a son living in the United States, and he goes back to the United States to retrieve his son, and I thought that was good. I thought that was believable. And he even goes on to describe how he was drugged and, was able to conceive this child, and I thought that was hilarious. I did laugh at that part. He goes to find the son with no problem. He doesn't have to do a DNA test. He doesn't have to do anything. He goes and finds this kid who looks nothing like him, and he brings him and his mom and his uncle back to Africa, where he has to qualify to be a prince. I realized that this kid didn't have much going on in the US. He couldn't find a job. He was really sarcastic. He was having issues, finding work. So it wasn't much for him to pack up his bags and go, especially when he realized that he had a wealthy father. That was okay. I was okay with that portion of the script. When he got back, he had to qualify to be a prince. And, that kind of fell flat for me. A lot of the jokes were flat. They weren't funny. I chuckled at best at some of the jokes, but there were no knee-slapping jokes or anything that I could say was hilarious that I just fell out. Nothing. Once Lavelle and his mom Mary came to Africa, there was some adjustments for him, but it was very little. Lavelle ends up having a few conversations with his hairdresser, and that constitute as love, which I hated that because I think that it diluted the movie and brought the movie stock down. One reason being is because it was absolutely zero to no on-screen chemistry between Marimbe and Lavelle. I thought she was one of his sisters. He was walking with her in a garden. I had no idea that they liked each other in that way. She gave him a little tail in his head, and then she cut it off, and she talked to him about being himself, but I didn't feel love. I didn't feel that they were falling in love. I didn't even feel that they liked each other. In the first Coming to America, Eddie Murphy, his sole purpose of the whole show was to get Lisa. As soon as he saw Lisa, he loved her. He wanted to marry her. He thought she was beautiful and amazing. Lavelle gave me none of that for Marimbe. So I had no idea that they wanted to even get married. Izzy wanted one of his children to marry Prince Akeem's or King Akeem's children, but he had no son. So he had to go to America and find his son. And, one of his daughters, Poto, played by Tiana Taylor, was supposed to marry Lavelle. And, he really wasn't interested. And he ended up wanting to really marry his hairdresser. It was just the oddest thing because I didn't even have any idea that they liked each other or anything. It was even a point where he says, come on, we're going to get out of here. He overhears a conversation that his dad is having with General Izzy. And, you know, they're talking about how they only brought him over here because he needed to marry his daughter. And he's like, I'm out of here. So he grabs the girl. He says, I'm going to leave. And she grabs his arm, but in an odd, awkward way. Like, it wasn't even like, you know, when your lover is taking your hand, you grab his hand and y'all hold hands and embrace. It was none of that. She gave him like some kind of military shake. I don't know what it was. And then they went off, and then they were trying to get married. And I thought that was so odd because it was no chemistry between the two of them. The film wasn't about their love affair. The film should have solely been based on qualifying Lavelle to be Prince, and or either going to America and finding his son and then bringing him back. And they could have did all of that in another Coming to America later on down the line, because what happened is it felt as if they were trying to cram 5 or 6 storylines into one, and it didn't work. On top of that, it wasn't that funny. So I was extremely disappointed in the movie. The on-screen chemistry between Lavelle and Maribel was just not there. The jokes fell flat for me. The jokes were not funny. There were portions of the movie where I chuckled, and it was great to see everybody still together, still alive, except for the mother. The mother, I think, did pass on. However, everybody else is still alive and well, and they brought back as many people as they possibly could, and that was great to see. I love to see Black representation, and I'm glad that we can have a conversation about movies we don't like, as opposed to not having any movies at all. So this is a plus. It's a win either way. Eddie Murphy made a huge bag on this movie. I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of the staff. I hope that they get another movie, maybe some better writers besides Eddie Murphy. He needs a little bit more help. Some better comedic writers, and bring some more talent to the movie. Also, I thought that Rotimi would have had a bigger part in the movie. He almost said absolutely nothing, and the way that they bigged him up throughout the making of the film, I thought he had a really huge part. Either they cut it out, or he didn't have as much of a big part as I thought he did. However, I think they missed the opportunity with that. They could have had him fall in love with the daughter, Mika, which would have been great, and actually a real love that could have took place, because, you know, she was a beautiful woman and he was a handsome guy, and he seemed like he wanted to get married or do something to help his family, and I thought that would have been a great opportunity. But other than that, the movie fell flat. I was very disappointed, and I'm sorry that I was disappointed. However, I still love Eddie Murphy. I love the entire cast. I think everybody in their own right is a great, hilarious comedian, and I look forward to seeing more. However, this movie did not do it for me. It was a complete letdown after 20 years of waiting for this movie, but it's still okay. I chuckled. You know, I got through it. I watched it till the end, and you will too. Comment down below, like, and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think about Coming to America. Was it worth the 20-year wait for you? Am I crazy? Because I ain't like it, you know, but you let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.